What's up, Internet? We are here in the town, quarter to midnight, for tactical reasons. I figure if I make this sort of one of those episodes that bleeds into another day, I can do more Trials of Mana tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this like a scheduled thing on Fridays until we finish that game or whatever, but I figured it would help a little bit to make that more of a sort of thing that I could do without overloading myself with even more stuff. At least ideally. Alright, so what do we have here? We got dizzy paper. How dizzy is this paper? We must find out. But I can't write more letters, crap. Throw that away. I want to see how dizzy this paper is. It's not dizzy at all. It's disco dance floor paper is what that is. Alright, so we got a checkered top that we don't need too much of, but we can sell that. Because we are so close to midnight, I think what we're gonna do, ideally, is we're gonna go check with Copper, because I think he said that something was going on either today or tomorrow. And since we have limited time between those 2 points, I figured it might be good to check now. Plus, if we do this, this might also mean that we might run to Wisp a few more times this month. Which would be fitting because it's the spooky, ghosty month. Alright, so thing from Sahara. Application for tomorrow. Okay, so we're actually really good. Alright. Excellent, excellent. Okay, then I guess we're going to the next town over. And then, I don't know. Still no new villagers. I'm not surprised by that, but still, I was kind of hoping that this... Right, we have to fill that one spot with flowers. But we can do that, that's not a problem. I just have to remember that that's there on the way back. Alright, train. Let's get training. And then I have to deal with Rover. Or the other girl, who is slightly less obnoxious than Rover, but at the same time, takes up time that I could better be working on the other town and helping people and finding treasure and stuff. So, it's really hard to tell which one I find more obnoxious. I guess Rover, just because he shows up so often. At least Blanca you can get a little creative with your doodling. Rover's just button mashing through text and hoping he goes away a little bit faster, which he never does, of course. But, either way, we move forward towards our destiny. Ah, it's Blanca. I actually have an idea for something I can do for Blanca today, so... we are going to do that thing. I just hope they have the right palette. And I think they should. I think palette either 16 or 1 should do it. That looks pretty nice on her. I kind of want to design a face that matches her shirt now. Looks like a white visor and like just a green helmet or something, but that's not the plan. She'll just have to wear that again another time. Okay, so I'm really hoping I can remember this. It'd be embarrassing if I couldn't. Yeah, that's about good. Okay. Actually, thinking something more like... I don't think this is like a... You can really do a perfect square while occupying the same amount of space here. Okay, so let's build that up. I want that at least 2 spots thick. Whoopsie. Drop that there, and that there, and that there. I think this is going to look okay. It's kind of weird, because like if you're trying to properly balance this out, there's like a part where you kind of can't continue to like make this stick, or it looks weird. Okay, so next we're going to do this. We want orange. And then we're just going to do that again. And this is hardly a perfect circle. Of course, we're working with squares. Creating a perfect circle is... I don't want to say geometrically impossible, because I've seen people make perfect circles in Minecraft, but, I mean, it takes way too much time and size to really make it worthwhile. But there, she's the Gracie shirt of faces now. She's some sort of red-pupiled, green-eyed, cyclopean creature. To match our shirt. Oh, the orange bit was actually full. I thought something looked off. Oh well, I tried. Alright, we have a glowy spot, and of course we have to go to Dome, see if they've got any awesome treasure there for us to salvage. So let's go do that thing. This. Grab this. There will be enough room. I promise you, game. Oh, and I left the droplet we found in front of our door before I saved yesterday. So, you know, if you're looking for that in my inventory, it's not there. Because I tactically did not want to sell that. Because I figured that could be fun to put in our house. Sell that, sell that. I do need paper just to get rid of some of this crap, so I will, but sell that, sell that, sell that, sell that, that. Yeah, that should be good enough. Not a lot of money, but it makes some space, which is an equally important resource. Present this. Let's see what we got. We got a fossil and an actual fossil. Nice. Plus I can write one letter. Ooh, that's spooky looking paper. Plop that there and make more space for us. Okay, sell that, sell that. Take 9,000 bells. Yes, please, Mr. Nook. Alright. I don't think we've ever actually seen the lovely bed for sale. I might buy that just for the ticket, honestly. I don't think it's in our inventory. Or our catalog or whatever. Okay, so we got 20 days until the raffle, and we have almost enough for one. I kind of wish the tickets were 1-to-1 as opposed to 5-to-1. I get why they're not, but at the same time, when you get to this point, in order to get tickets, you just gotta spend a bunch of money. Which doesn't really work so well. Alright, it's our good pal Velma. What's up, Velms? No quest for Velma, and Peaches is nowhere to be found. Maybe she's having an awesome adventure, and she didn't bring me along. I'm a little offended. Let's see if there's treasure to be found. Oh, there she is. More mycologist information for mushrooming season, which I still don't remember actually being a thing in this game. Have I already done too many quests this week and just no one has anything left for me to do? Are people finally getting their stuff together so that I don't have to do it for them? I mean, that's good for them as people, but it's bad for me as someone who wants something to do. I will take a thing to Spike's, sure. I don't remember Spike ever wearing glasses. In fact, the only villager in this town that wears glasses is Velma. And I'm pretty sure that's actually just part of her face. But, you know, whatever. Okay, so bike is out and about around here. Except not. No, that would be too easy. Okay, here he is. Still looking great in that jagged shirt. That's a good shirt on him. Uh-oh. An outfit, but I mean, do you not see my awesome Gracie shirt? Or my alternative cool shirt? Clearly I don't need more shirts. I've got the best shirts. Ah, it's the ketchup and mustard shirt. I look like a hot dog vendor. I mean, it's not a bad shirt, but no thanks. Also, I think it uses the exact same pattern as that weird purple, like, flower shirt that we had the other day. Just, they alternated colors and changed them. I mean, granted, they do that with a lot of shirt designs, like all the tie-dyes are all the exact same design, just different colors, but still. You didn't tell me the joke, you jerk. Now give me stuff. Stuff that I don't have preferably, but stuff that I can sell for a lot of bells if I do. Or, you know, both. Both would also be good. Mr. Bacon Eyebrow Eyes. A Moai statue. But this is not a Konami game. We don't need one of those. Alright, well, maybe Ace needs something. Pokemon Pikachu, lent to Quetzal. Classic story. Of revenge. Now I have to smack him with my net a bunch of times till he gives it back. I know how this all works. Alright, let's get this back to Ace. Bright side, we only have to go through one villager to get this out, as opposed to, like, 12. That sucks. Alright, get this to Ace. Excuse me. I always thought the Gracie shirt looked like olives. I don't know why, but it just looks like olives to me. I'm very disappointed. Stationer is the worst present. Ace, you know this. We've been over this countless times. What's Cube doing over here? Maybe he's friends with the only other... I want to say the only other bluebird in town, but that's not right. Maybe they're part of a secret club that secretly runs this town. Like, even higher up than the Raccoon Mafia. Am I taking that from? I literally was not reading that. I thought I was taking a thing to someone else. Okay, I know where to go now. Fortunately, this is one of those things where they actually tell you where you need to go, which is good, because that's the thing we kind of needed. Hey, a thing I can dig up. Yes, please. Awesome. Also, we should probably, you know, get rid of the ones in our inventory. Actually, we can swing by and talk to Pelly while we do that. That sounds like a plan. For once, I actually have one of those. Feels weird having a plan. And write one more letter to a museum. Yes, please. Plunk that down. Plunk this down. And boom! Inventory space. Something we kind of desperately needed. Now let's go talk to Pelly. Pelican. Okay, so there's the ball, which, depending if someone asks in the weirdest spots in town, could be the biggest pain in the ass to get there. Alright, let's mail some letters. Fortunately, I have enough to fill up her inventory, even though she will not empty it properly. Because that one letter on the left just never will be mailed. For reasons I cannot explain. One more letter, Pelly. There we go. Goodbye. Still prefer Phyllis, though. Okay, let's see if these people need... I gotta go to Caesar's. Let's start with him. Because these guys might intersect with that quest or something. Better save time in the long run. Alright, just go talk to someone on the complete opposite corner of this village. Why not? There's no new quests on the board, just information from mycologists. It is now midnight. Which means it's now 6 p.m. here. That. I haven't seen anything we can dig up around here. I mean, I know we found Gulliver already, but I kind of want to just explore, see if there's any gyroids or something on the beach. I miss fossils, treasure, random knickknacks. You live right next to him. Literally just hang it on his door or something. Wah! Oh, while we're here, I think he said Gracie was coming by, but let's check again just to be sure since we're here. Yeah, so tomorrow Gracie's gonna be here. That's a problem. I'll think of something. Like I said, if I'm doing this, I don't necessarily want to play Animal Crossing tomorrow if I can do Mana, just because I think that would be fun to keep doing. That's your picture book, alright. Some smooth duds. Clearly not looking at my own outfit. My designer Gracie brand clothing. Arctic camo. Maybe Ace has something else for us, but possibly not. Why do you lend out organizers? I still do not understand. That doesn't seem like a thing you lend out to people. That's like lending out your diary or something. Like, you know, that's just, it's something you don't do. Lending out your driver's license, you know, just don't do that. That's a bad idea. I will not. In fact, I will admonish you. I will make it look like you were willfully holding it against his will just to irritate him, Camofrog. Alright, so let's go talk to Ace yet again. Hey, crickets. That's a pretty sound. That is, in fact, your organizer. Why does everyone want to give me stationery? It's not helping. Alright, well, at the very least, what I can do is write these. Like that. Those don't look like bluebells. They look either like petunias or morning glories. So calling this bluebell paper is not accurate. I mean, it's in the name, bluebells. They look more like bells. Those look more like trumpets. I know a lot about flowers. Alright. Find camera from Chow. I think we can do that. Consider it sorta kinda handled. I don't think that is the char, but we're gonna catch it anyway, because why not? We're gonna try to. Again, it's in like that awkward spot. But that makes it a lot easier. Garbage. Crap. That just looks a little too small for it to be anything good, but let's catch it anyway. Since we got the rod out. Hey, Segs, how you doing? Yeah, I didn't stream a couple days ago because I was like literally sick. I think I slept for like 26 hours. And then I just did like a 2-day thing super late, so yeah, we've just not been seeing each other too much. Oh, I gotta talk to Chow, not the Camofrog. I'm so programmed to already hate Camofrog today. He's the just source of everyone's woes. And it's not fair because it's actually Chow's fault this time. Ah, got Ketzel's camera. Oh, cool. I think that's a really good concept, so to keep working on it, that's really exciting. I get excited just hearing about it. Alright, give this to good old Ketzel. I'll take some stationery. What do other people say? I mean, aside from the fact that I hate receiving stationery as gifts, Ketzel. Alright, we can't use that. Maybe I'll talk to someone up here. Oh, you have really worked out stuff for your alternate areas and stuff. That's cool. Nothing for Pierce. Hey, Cookie needs... I will take a look at your character face when I get a chance. You can be sure of that. Give me a job. Oh, I gotta talk to Weber, but I hate Weber. Damn it. Alright, fine. I'll get it from Weber, but I get to smack him with my net. That is my compromise. So let's go down to... Oh, I don't know if you're interested, since we're talking about face designs, but right now Humble Bundle has like a face generator program that might give you a starting point if you're for lack of ideas for stuff like that. Alright, I'm picking up a thing. I mean, I'd be half tempted to go in and just buy that whole bundle because, like, every time they have one, I just grab it for assets for RPG Maker, but this one is, like, really insanely expensive. Well, if you had people move in, I could see a couple problems, like, moving forward, because you'd either have to have a very large pool of pre-made characters, sort of like Magical Melody, which is clearly one of your inspirations, or you'd have to create some sort of, like, randomization system, just in order to keep it sort of interesting. Was it Camofrog or Cube that had it? Speaking personally as someone who likes a lot of Harvest Moon stuff, one of the things I love in those games is definitely, like, the dating and marriage systems, so, you know, I tend to find that as, like, my top priority in those sort of games, is, like, find the one character I really like and, you know, try and marry them. So that's a system I definitely like, but it's definitely got to be there for more than just something to be there. Like, if you played really early Stardew Valley, like, yes, you could marry people, but everyone said the exact same thing, and they only had, like, 2 lines of dialogue, and they never really did anything, so, like, the moment you got married to them, they got really boring. Sort of like the original Harvest Moon, actually, because every character would start wearing, like, the same outfit if you got married, which was weird. And they have a lot of similar lines and stuff. It really got boring compared to later Harvest Moons. Yeah, I tend to ignore the book bundles myself, but that's just because I don't really have any way to read digital books. I've got my phone, but my phone literally holds a mighty charge of 15% at this point, and dies within a second. And I cannot fathom using my computer to read books. Like I said, I'm kind of interested in that RPG Maker bundle, but there's two problems. First of all, like I said, it's insanely expensive. I think in order to get the final tier, you have to pay like $65, which is like, ouch. And the second reason is a lot of those RPG assets, even though they're designed for like a thing to produce stuff openly, a lot of that stuff is actually licensed, and they don't give you the license to actually produce stuff. Which is weird. Like, every time I see one of these Humble bundles with like RPG Maker assets, you know, I see like a million YouTube videos going up saying, look, you can buy this, but if you ever want to actually put this out and like sell it, you cannot use any of these assets, or you could be sued into the ground. And then Humble Bundle has to like go out of their way to actually try and like get extra licenses and stuff. It's a really bizarre system to do stuff like that. And the fact that they don't go out of their way from the start to do that just comes across as bizarre. Yeah, everyone I know seems to have like an iPad or something with some sort of like reading app on it, but I can't afford one, so I do not have one. I just read physical books, and I've got like a giant stack of them on my headboard that I haven't touched in quite a while. Just because I'm so busy making videos on my channel and stuff. Speaking of, I've got to work on a thing for a Halloween video or two. Hopefully later tonight I'll get to work on that. You made each other angry. Oh, don't do it again. Oh. Cube, you're rocking that. Don't be sad, you look awesome. Spike, stop making Cube feel bad, and also give me something to do. Yeah, I could totally see game development books being useful to look into for sure. I already did everything for Ace. Okay, that goes to Pearl, so there's not a lot of space. I'm gonna catch a fish and then go sell some stuff to Nook. I think that's the plan. Hey, we got a base. Alright, let's go drop this off with the Raccoon Mafia. Build up their fish stick empire. Oh. Oh, that was a migratory locust. I haven't taken a look yet. I'm gonna take a look when I'm done. But I'm pretty excited to take a look. I always like seeing how different people design characters. I mean, it doesn't help that I can't draw or design, like, visually to save my life. I've got some, like, spriting skills, but that's about it. That's just because I played with a lot of sprites when I was a kid. Like, just mixing and mashing them up. Just because it gave me something to do in between, like, working on game concepts. But I can't draw to save my life. Use paint, huh? Have you ever thought of upgrading to, like, even if you don't want to pay anything, like GIMP or something? I tried using GIMP instead of, like, Photoshop, and I just could not do it. My brother had to, like, get me a copy of Photoshop. Just because they're basically the same program, but for whatever reason, GIMP is just a million times more awkward to try and use. But it's free. Barbell Steed. Useless fish. I want a useful fish. There's not a fish down there. Ah. Oh, right. Gotta deliver a thing to Pearl. Can't talk to Peaches anymore, it seems. That's fine. I guess. Do you need something? Yeah, I found GIMP to be a little tricky to figure out. Like, I'm sure I could have probably figured it out had I just spent a lot of time doing it, sort of like how I kind of sort of figured out at least the basics of Vegas, as opposed to using like Movie Maker, but you know, it takes a lot of time that I just don't have, and I at least have a vague understanding of how to use Photoshop from college. The problem I have with a lot of Adobe stuff nowadays is it's all like based on like monthly fees and stuff, and I can't stand that crap. So I just found a really old copy that didn't have monthly fees applied to it, so I could just, you know, use it without having to pay a bunch of extra crap for no reason. Alright, let's go deliver this to Pierce. And you know, that's the weird thing, a lot of those programs are already expensive enough to like get the initial use for them, so to like apply an actual like fee to monthly use is just a little bizarre to me. I will take furniture, that's the best. Thank you, Pierce. Space shuttle. Cool, we can explore alien villages. You have not a thing, Cookie, and you know it. Alright, maybe Caesar has something. Other than copious amounts of salad and the Colosseum. Or not. You know, one or the other. Oh, get rid of this. Yeah, you do. And as I understand, until they approve it, you have to maintain it still, which is a little bit awkward. I thought afterwards, like, even if you had, like, attained affiliate status, if you didn't maintain it, you'd lose it, which is definitely an extra hurdle. Like, what really bothers me about the average is that it's measured, like, on a minute-to-minute basis. That's what bugs me. Yeah, it absolutely sucks. The way they've set it up, I mean, they've set it up in a way that kind of makes logical sense from, I guess, their perspective, in that they don't want to end up having to pay every single person who can, like, you know, stream something. But at the same time, you know, it makes it an extra unnecessarily difficult hurdle, like, just the way they've set it up. I mean, the requirements alone are, I think, well, requirements enough. I feel the same way about how, like, Google runs YouTube now. It's like, well, you gotta have X number of videos, X number of views, X numbers of minutes watched, X number of subscribers, and it's like, you know, I have so many of all those things. I have gone past and, like, doubled some of those requirements, but I just don't have the subscriber count. And it's like, you know, clearly I've proven that I've had this, and hell, I've achieved this beforehand. I should be grandfathered into the system, but they take it away anyway. It's like, you know, I get why from a business perspective you do that, but at the same time you are completely screwing over literally everyone. It's kind of amazing to see them just be so entirely tone deaf to everyone involved. And, you know, it's kind of amazing at times, because, like, you'll see every couple of months they'll put up, like, one of these banners that says, click here to, like, you know, tell us what you think, and you know they don't actually listen. Because, I mean, I've told them so many times I don't want to be defaulted into, like, this new studio beta thing that's awkward and doesn't work. I just want what you were offering. That worked perfectly fine. And now every day, every couple of hours, I have to swap back for no reason. Studio Beta is a piece of garbage, and I don't want to actually have to swap to it. And I know it's going to take me days to figure out how to, like, navigate it again once they, like, mandatorily force it on us. More than they already do, anyway. That's probably a barbell steed. Although the fact that it's jumping around like that, maybe it's a char. Although barbell steeds are unnecessarily difficult for, like, garbage fish. Yeah, it's a carp. Let's put a little more. I'll take carp. Maybe Quetzal has a thing. Hey, I had your shirt for a minute, Quetzal, and then I sold it because I didn't want it. Those aren't circles either, or at least the green one isn't. It's more like a, almost sort of like an oval diamond shape sort of thing, like an eyeball. Oh, right, I can't talk to Peaches because Pearl. Well, we can just shoot the breeze, I guess. No. It's not that I want to be antisocial, it's that I don't want to see your letters. Because I know how the letter reading system in this game is. The letter you have is probably stupid. Carp. Maybe it's magic. Maybe it'll turn to a giant sea lizard when we fish it out of the water. Because magic carps. Choo-choo. Oh, that. Alright, now we can form a band. I think I've done everything for everyone, and that kind of bugs me. Because I don't want to have done everything for everyone. There's no one around. I haven't seen a migratory locust in a little while. Frustrating. Not unexpected, but still frustrating. There's a cricket. I don't think Tangy has anything for us. Excuse me. Cats are silly like that. Alright, Weber. Give me something to do, because no one else will. Getting the hiccups. Oh, let's get rid of that. I wonder if Wisp would be around. I mean, I imagine we cleaned up the town enough they probably wouldn't. But maybe? Possibly? I mean, we've talked to everyone else. I'm not seeing any interesting bugs to catch. Or fish, honestly. I think that's either a carp or a barbell steed. Just because I know how the fish are right now. Or garbage. It could be garbage. Stupid garbage. Stupid Ace for clapping at me catching stupid garbage. Go to Quetzal's and get a videotape. Yeah, I can do that, sure. Why not? He better not have moved. I think he moved. But he never moves. Ah, there he is. He's just hiding, using his ninja eagle nonsense. Alright, I will go talk to Zhao then. Why not? That fish is too small to be a char. That one might be garbage, or a carp, or a barbell steed. They kind of have regular, similar-ish dimensions. Let's find out. Unless it wants to swim under the stupid pier, in which case, there's not a lot I can do about that. Come on. There. Hey, the large base. That was even better than I'd hoped. Probably not going to see too many dragonflies soon. Soon it's going to be all wintry and stuff. Ah, Chow. I gotta go talk to Chow. That's right. I remember. Alright, I'll go talk to Pierce, I guess. I think he was still hanging out by his house, last I checked. He's really admiring that poster of Isaac I painted way like 20 years ago. Well, that means he at least has it, so... Oh. Can't get rid of fish. I don't want to litter. I'll just have to remember that that's there. I'll go talk to Velma for you. And I will blame you to no end, Pierce. Alright. Talk to Velms. I shall deliver this to you. Oh, more clothes. No one's recognizing my awesome Gracie duds. Botanical shirt. I think that's what Chow's wearing. Yep. You know, aside from it looking vaguely like vomit, it's not a bad shirt. But it's not Gracie's top. Because of that, I have to pass on it. They don't hate each other, hooray! It's a miracle. Okay, let's go deliver this. A load of nonsense to Nook. Make a few more bells. So that, and also this. Interesting. You could probably change up the mine a little bit, or the cave a little bit too, depending on how that would work out. Because, you know, if you've got a mining corporation, I imagine that the overall layout of the cave would probably change pretty drastically. But without them, there'd probably be more animals and stuff, which could bring about its own advantages and stuff. I mean, not to go back to, like, Stardew Valley or whatever, but you could kind of do something similar in there. And if you could, like, either grow mushrooms in the cave, or if you didn't do that, like, bats would move in and sometimes they'd bring fruit. But you could probably do that with the mine layout itself, because, like, bring in the mining corporation, suddenly, like, they're mining out, they uncover, like, some hidden tunnels or something. Could maybe give you some, like, shortcuts, or maybe, like, a secret area to explore or something. Although the problem with that is then suddenly, while you're giving different choices completely different playthrough options, you are then gating away gameplay to specific ones, which is not necessarily a thing you want to do. Unless you could ultimately create some sort of, like, alternative path or something, like maybe some sort of earthquake opens it up, but just a little later or something. Okay, the hot spring resort. That's actually a good idea, because You know, if we're going once again back to Harvest Moon, if you're like foraging or whatever, having that nearby gives you a tactical advantage because then you don't run out of energy. Plus, it could bring tourists and stuff to the place, which could increase the overall economy of the place. However, that could have drawbacks as well, in that that could also mean that, you know, people are charging more for tourists, which means that everything could go up like 10%, but you could have like a wider variety of stuff to buy or something. Yeah, I suppose that could work, certainly. Stop giving me stationery. It's the worst present. Damn it, Pierce. You're my favorite. Stop treating me like garbage. You have nothing, Cookie. Don't say you do. I know that trick. You say yes, but you mean no. I can't talk to Peaches. That might be the char. Might be big enough. Oh, come on. Swim down here, you stupid big fish. The erratic pattern in swimming in makes me think it's probably a rare fish, too. Eh. I could go up there, but the problem is, once I travel about half a area away, he'll despawn. The frustrating thing is, you know he's probably just a barbell steed or something dumb. Oh, come on. Some of the ways these areas are designed are just the worst for what you're supposed to use them for. Come on, little fishy, fishy fish. Throw. I feel like to get there we'd have to be... Yeah, and if you keep swimming up... Yeah, for sure. Trying to figure out crop growth and prices. That could be a problem, for sure. Oh, come on, you stupid fish. Let's get over here. Annoyed at fish. Just wants to catch stupid fish. Has to rotate and spot, doing magical dance of trying to hypnotize fish. Come on. Can I get an angle that'll catch it? Maybe? Yes. Stupid carp. Totally not worth it. Well, yeah, that's the trick. I think setting it to a monthly schedule could work, or a seasons-based schedule, but if you did that, you'd probably have to make them all grow by a factor of 3 to fit in that time frame. And then, of course, you know, whatever takes the longest would probably sell the most, for sure. Not dissimilar to, say, like, trying to grow pineapples in Harvest Moon. It takes 21 days out of the month, but it sells for the most. How would you do taxidermy on bugs? Exactly. That's true. Harvest Moon does only have about 28 days. Still, I think it would be a similar enough thing that it would be transitory if, at least as a starting point, you tried to work out the growth rates, at least with a base of 3. So, like, you could make something really easy grow within, like, 3 to 6 days. Then something a little harder maybe takes 9 to 12, something like that. And then you could probably do something like the, what is it, the gem fruit or whatever in Stardew Valley that takes literally the entire month. And then if you really wanted to work it in, you could create like a sort of like seasonless environment that could allow you to grow everything predominantly with no real issues, sort of like the greenhouses in Harvest Moon. But I imagine that would have to be something you'd have to work towards unlocking, because that would be like a major game-changing sort of prize type of thing. Put that out there. Come on, fish. You're not even a big fish. You're probably a crucian carp, but still. Oh, sad. Alright, well. I gotta get this to pearl at some point. Ooh, that's a fish that might be worth something. Maybe. Maybe. Or what you could do possibly is like use various like unlocking trees or something like that, and if you had the scientist, unlocking that one would just be faster because it would unlock like the, you know, science tree or whatever. Although the problem with that is that takes what is already a fairly complicated game that we've sort of been discussing and makes it like an even more complicated thing to program for. Because like that's the thing, you kind of have to, especially this early on, at least work within your limitations, I think. Because the problem is, once you start adding complexity and having to program for it, it makes it really easy to break stuff open. Yeah, there's nothing more up here I want. I guess we'll take those flowers and just get out of here. But it's certainly something you could look into, or maybe you could create like compound bonuses or something. Like, you know, you get the scientist bonus to like help you create the equipment to set up like a proper greenhouse and stuff, and like you get the mountain bonus, which is like the spa, which gives you like mountain water, which creates like faster growing formula for your plants to grow or something, because it's healthier, cleaner water or something like that. And if you combine that with like the bonus for like having fishermen around, maybe they could give you like their chum or something as some sort of like nutrient-rich fertilizer. You could probably have a way to like stack bonuses and create like complex rewards with all of them if you really wanted to do that as well. Sort of like that, but again, that gets really complicated really quickly. And the problem with doing that then means that unless you want to create equally complex rewards for combining like every potential bonus for every potential alternate like route you can take, you know, you're going to end up creating like one or two like definitive paths through the game that you really wouldn't want to deviate from, which then nullifies the point of choice. Unfortunately, there's a lot to map out with something like this, especially if you want to try and keep it simple. This is probably going well beyond what it should do, at least initially. I think the important thing to do at this point is at least start with very early proof of concept. You know, just create like the basic farm and just sort of tool around with like how growth rate should work within however many set days, and figure out exactly how that would work before going too in deep with everything else. Because the problem is, once you start getting in depth with this stuff and sort of start really planning it out, it's going to hurt more and more if you ever need to cut it just for it being too complex to program for. That sounds like a good idea, yeah. Just sort of start with something simple and start testing to see how it would work in practice, and that you can actually make it. I think that's probably what should be done at this point. Right, I did not forget. I have to replace this flower here. I remembered. For once. Oh, is there any new treasure to find? Nope, just my mycology reports. Which doesn't help me too much. I genuinely don't remember there being a mushroom picking season in this game. I know for a fact none of the other ones had it. Plant that, and plant... I thought I saw a wisp, but there is no wisp. Because he's invisible from the start. Okay. I think I have to leave this blank, but let's take a look. Oh, it's sort of 2 back. So yeah, that's probably about as... I might be able to plant there. Yeah. And then plant one here. There. Guess we could wander around and see if we find Wisp. I don't think he'd be here like 2 days in a row, though. I think that would be a good idea to start with, just sort of planning out your harvesting and, you know, seeing that you can actually get the whole farming concept to work on a basic level before trying to make it super, super complicated. Because at least that gives you a starting point where you can test stuff around and see what works and what doesn't. There's Pearl. Have you seen any invisible ghosts around? Because I'm looking for one, even though I'm pretty sure he's not around. Every day I bring something from the other tent. Seriously, you moved here 6 months ago. How have you left so much stuff over there? What did we get from that? A rare painting. But it's not the painting we need, so it doesn't really do me too much good, I don't think. I think we need the moving painting. Fortunately, we can just run to the museum and take a look. And dig this up. Grab this, and we can plunk this into a letter. Well, I think the important thing right now is just to do what you can to see what parts of it you can work out right now. It's good to, like, you know, plan the stuff up on paper, but when you can at least create a working proof of concept, whether it necessarily, you know, gels perfectly or whatever, at least you've kind of produced something that'll help you get started. It gives you a good foothold, an idea of really, you know, how you can make this work in the future. I think, anyway. Plus, it at least gives you sort of a tangible thing you can look at, which in turn can really help you figure out how to develop some stuff. Common painting, worthy painting, famous painting, rare painting. Damn it. Just need this one. Just need this one, and the entire stupid thing is done. Okay, well, don't have much luck with paintings. Maybe Gulliver's around here too. I don't think he would be, but maybe. Not seeing him, but who knows, maybe we'll run into Wisp. Yeah, I think being able to, like, actually see a visual representation as opposed to just, you know, a wall of code or text, I think it helps make it a little bit more tangible. And it makes it a little bit easier to understand, at least for me. I'm definitely visual like that, though. I like to be able to see stuff work in motion as opposed to just looking at information like that. That's, I think, part of the reason why I'm not particularly good at coding and why I prefer simpler tools to work with, like RPG Maker and the like, just because, you know, it allows you to get, like, sort of instant tangibility with what you're doing. But that's just sort of who I am, I think, as a person. Not so much the numbers as I am just sort of like the feel of what I'm working with. Stupid carp. You could have been a char. Actually, I think it's past the time for char, but still. You could have been. I don't think we'll run into wisp, but I'm going to check all the acres anyway. Why not? Just because if it means that we are guaranteed a free thing that we didn't have before. Because wisp is something I really enjoy in this game. And yet we haven't really run into them until about now. But, I mean, free guaranteed stuff you haven't gotten in your collection, yeah, that's awesome. There's a bit of a runaround to get it, but still. I'm pretty sure he can even give you, like, event stuff, which is pretty cool. Around here, Wisp? I don't think you would be, because, like, that's the thing about him. Even if you fulfill the requirements to get him, you're not guaranteed to run into him. The fact that we run into him as often as we have is kind of a miracle, honestly. Still. And I don't think we have enough weeds right now to cause him to spawn to begin with. But that said, it's always worth a look around. Although I think today it's going to be a bit of a wash. Getting all hiccupy again. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's a stress thing. Come on, Wisp. You gotta be somewhere, unless you're not, in which case, you gotta be nowhere. I mean, you are a ghost. I guess there's that lack of tangibility with you. I've seen him spawn in this acre as well. Like, the 3 times we've seen him spawn, it was in this acre and twice by the Able sisters. Okay, when you say using Minecraft as sort of like a design look, are you talking like as a 3D game, or are you saying it as like a 2D representation but with more sort of a simplified pixel look? I mean, either way, I would be cautious using something like that, because a lot of independently made games like to take that whole sort of, well, we're making it look really, really retro just because it's affordable, but it's also a style choice, so love us, please, and you know, not to sound all high and mighty, but that gets to be really oversaturated really quickly. It can work, and it can work well if you do it well enough, but there's just so many people who really like to use that sort of old school, very simplistic, sort of pixely design. And that's definitely going to hurt your game sort of standing out from the crowd, I think, a little bit. But that said, it's important that you have a unified aesthetic to your overall design, or else it's not going to necessarily stand out as well. So it's a tricky balancing act you're going to have to pull, certainly. But that said, if you go with something that has already inspired your appearance, then at the very least you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be building, as opposed to going in without an idea whatsoever. I'm just sort of curious if this is going to be like a 3D designed thing or a 2D designed thing now. Oh, I see. So you're going to use it sort of like as a way to plan layouts and stuff. That's not a bad idea. That certainly works. You know, that's the brilliance of Minecraft, is it has standard dimensions for everything in it because it's all unified singular blocks. And there's a lot of room for a creative sort of edge to anything you really design. So really you can use Minecraft to make anything. So it's not a bad idea. At least to come up with sort of a basic layout for what you're going to be doing, certainly. I don't think Wisp is here, unfortunately. So, I think that will be it for tonight. Yeah, it's grid-based, so that also helps. Anyway, I think that will be it for tonight. Like I said, we kind of streamed into 2 days because I'd like to do more mana tomorrow, ideally. The problem is we might end up missing KK Slider and Gracie, which sucks. I'll see what I can do about that. Maybe I'll come up with something. And I definitely have to grind like for 3 more hours to get the last 2 levels in mana, but I can probably do that tonight if I get 1 or 2 things done. Anyway, that'll be for tomorrow, I think. But I hope you enjoyed. If you did, follow the stream to know when we go live, because we do this every single night. Other stuff when I happen to have the time, which I'm trying to clearly sort of balance the 2 right now, because I feel like it's definitely one more than the other. You might also want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see everything else I do, which is a lot of stuff. Not just Animal Crossing, but pretty much any type of game you can think of. And absolutely loads of stuff that I'm sure you can't, because importing games is a very interesting thing to do. You can find a lot of games that you'd never even consider being games. Plus, you can get yourself on the Discord to talk to me and get all the information you want if you help support the show, which will in turn allow us to further, make more episodes of the show and make it better, as well as, help fund it. Plus, to get votes in for stuff that's voting, which I think at this point is just pirate games, because that's wrapping up, but I think that's everything I wanted to plug, if I did so very clumsily, because I'm off what I normally say, which I've sort of commemorated to heart. Point is, watch my stuff, and, support me where you can so that I can continue to make more stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time, which ideally will be tomorrow for more mana. But until then, peace out, Internet.